Hi. So today I'm going to teach you and help you understand what was developed last year through this last summer by the physics teachers at ESUHSD High School District. So as you all know, we're supposed to be implementing NGSS, Next Generation Science Standards. And so Paul has had a group of us working together in all the different sciences, physics, chem, bio, to put together the 3-year sequence. So this sequence is for the physics in the universe. It doesn't have to be the 3rd year. It could be the 2nd year. It is based mainly on StemScopes because that is what we've been piloting. But the general idea of how it works can be used with any curriculum that we decide to use. So we developed a site, which you see here is linked if you have the PowerPoint, the slideshow, that we developed with all of the resources that we have either used from StemScopes or created ourselves, so that we're hoping that other physics teachers will be able to use it as they see fit in their classroom. So how do you use the site? So the first thing is you need to be able to bookmark the site or find it or get to it. So one way you can do it is you can go to the URL that I have linked in the slideshow. And once it's there, you can simply bookmark it. So I'm assuming most of you know how to do that. You click on the little bookmark, and then you can decide where you want to put it. You know, you can put it in an NGS folder. You can make another folder. You can put it in your bookmark bar, and you can call it whatever you want to. And then if you click done, it will stay with that little star there. I don't want to do that because I don't need to bookmark it, so I'm not going to. But that is an option that you can do. And then if it's in your bookmark bar, it'll be down here. If you put it in a folder, it'll be over here. So it's your choice of how you'd like to do that. Another option that you can do is you could go to the Waffle sites, new Google sites, and sites not owned by me. Now that might sound like a big mouthful, but let me show you. So if I go to my email, here's the Waffle. I can click on the Waffle. From the Waffle, I can go to sites. From sites, I can go to new Google sites. And then this can be not owned by me, or it could be, I just say not owned by me, but you need to be able to find it. So then here it is, and I can click on it. And lo and behold, there is the site as well, right? So that is another way that you can get to the site. I'm going to go to it this way. So it's there and it's open for when we're doing the presentation. Now, I also in the slideshow go over how to do that, right? So here's exactly what I just did in one slide. So those of you who need that, here's the Waffle, go to the sites, new sites, not owned by me, click on it. Done. All right, so now we all can get to the site. We know where it is, but why would I want to get to the site? Well, let's see. One of the things is at the top of the page, there is a link. So if you go to each of the segments, right? So StemScopes, if you're not familiar with it, has different segments. Within the segment, there's different scopes. So one of the segments, the first segment that physics teachers are supposed to work on is motion and forces. So if you go to the top of the page, so if I'm here and I go here to the top of the page, it always has this at the top of every one of these. It has these 3 things. So those 3 things are the NGSS standards. So what NGSS standards are covered in that segment. The mission letter. This is probably the most unique thing about going NGSS is you remember it's supposed to be phenomena driven. We're trying to get the kids to understand why would I want to learn these things. And so you come up with a really interesting phenomena they need to solve based on the information you're going to be teaching them. And so that's the mission letter that StemScopes provides. So we just added that there so you have it. And then we came up with this CER rubric because as most of us know, you're supposed to be doing claim evidence reasoning, getting the kids to write, explain what's going on. So we came up with a rubric. That took a while. I think it's pretty well done. But you can use that to keep it more uniform. We'd love to see it adopted by the entire science department, but that's yet to be seen. You can talk with your science partners about that and else your science colleagues. So here is, I'm in forces at a distance, so that one's highlighted. So the NGS standards that are covered at with that one are right here. So it tells you what they are, easier to read when you make it bigger, but just so you know it's there, which engineering practices and which things you're going to be expected, the kids are going to be expected to be able to do. Here's the mission letter for Forces at a Distance. So this one's about launching an asteroid, I think it is, right? But you can read through it. What are the steps you need to consider to be the exploration of celestial bodies? So how are you going to be able to figure out what's going on when that one gets launched? And then the CER rubric is the same for each of the segments because we made that universal. And so you can see that it just lists everything that you need to have for your claim, for your evidence, and for your reasoning. So you can take a look at that. All right, so that's what's at the top. And then if you look down, right, so if I've clicked on one of these at the top, besides all the things that are at the top there, it also has this spreadsheet down below. It's an embedded spreadsheet. So if you click at the tab at the top and go to the segment, within the segment there are links to activities in a suggested order with comments. So I'll show you that, and then we'll talk about that other arrow. So if I scroll down, see how it has all these links, and it tells you which of the 5 E's. I'm not going to teach you 5 E's right now. If you don't know, Google it. But 5 E's is really the way NGSS is going, where you have given them the phenomenon, and then you go through some information, and they play with it, and they elaborate, and then you explain it, and yada, yada, yada. So it goes on and on. But this was one of the teachers' ways that they did it. It tells you kind of the sequence. Sometimes they'll give you timing. Sometimes it's just sort of this will take this amount of days. It has links to each thing that you would need and how to get there and what was going on with it and kind of the comments with it, right? A little difficult to read from here, right? But it's there, so you can just keep clicking around if you just want to be kind of get a general idea of what's going on with it. However, if you click on this piece right here, this arrow, right? So if I come over here and I click, see this little arrow pops up? If I click on that, that takes me to the entire spreadsheet, which is a little easier to read, right? You can see everything here, and then you can click on any of the links to take you to where you need to go. If there's no link, it's just sort of what it needs to be, so you have to decide how you want to do that. But you can see here it has each of the scopes, right? So here's the scope within the segment. And so, you can decide, see how it's divided up for each one, right? So it's a little easier to read in that manner, right? So we've gone through this page, right? So you can click up here, you can look just real briefly, or you can click on the arrow and see all of the different resources you have for doing that particular segment. Within the spreadsheet, the other things to notice is that the spreadsheet has tabs at the bottom. Most of you should be familiar with that. So if I come down here, I can see these tabs, which are basically the same as the links, but there's additional tabs if you come to it. So notice here the extra tabs that go beyond what was in the scopes up here, right? Because this one only goes to origins of the universe. So if a person's name is on the tab, that's the teacher's personal resources for how they implemented the curriculum in their classroom. So it may not follow exactly StemScopes, or it might, but their version of it with their things added to it, so it might have a little more details. If it's just the segment name, it's just following StemScopes, and so we just went through StemScopes, and basically you can look at it as the best of StemScopes. So we kind of said, yeah, that'll work, that won't work. Yes, we can see it going. It may or may not have been implemented last year because we didn't get through everything. But so you can decide if you want to see something more in detail or something not as much in detail. So if you go to a StemScopes link, it's going to look something like this. So we all have access to StemScopes since it's a pilot. We did download a lot of them just in case StemScopes goes away. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. So if you like it, use it. A lot of them are now Google links, but it's still basically StemScopes, right? And so you can familiarize with that, but it takes you directly there to make it easier. If it's a teacher one like mine, I gave you a couple different things. So I gave you the folders within the documents for units. I gave you the calendar with the sequence. I give you a copy. Now that test is a Google form. And so you have to make a copy, but then you can edit it. And then I give you the version of my engineering task for the driving phenomena for that one. So those are lessons I actually implement, or the entire segments I implemented last year. So if you look, I have one for forces and distance. That's straight. A lot of that's from StemScopes, but you can see it just gives you to the folders and things like that. And I tell you what each thing is here. This was my energy conservation with robots. So if you're interested in the robots, that was a really cool unit. And then this is not StemScopes, but one that I learned from another teacher that I thought was really well done with waves and electromagnetic radiation. So again, there's just other resources that are very NGSS that you can use. So if you want to hear how other teachers are implementing NGSS in their physics classes, or you just want more information on how we've done this, or you just need an extra helping hand, or you just want to have a great discussion and collaborate with your peers, we are going to have every 6 weeks, approximately, on Thursdays after school from 4 to 6, meetings where we just get together and see how things are going and, talk about the goods, the bads, and improvements and things that we need to do. Do some demos, show people what we're doing, that kind of thing. So set your calendars. These are the dates: September 26th, November 7th, January 9th, February 24th, April 9th, and May 28th. We're trying to figure out where to have them because I don't want to make people come all the way down to Santa Teresa because it's very far south. So we're trying to get a central location, but Paul is in charge of that and we'll definitely let you know. But if you can mark your calendars and try to make it, I promise you will not be disappointed with all the new things you will learn. If you have any questions, you can contact me. My name is Deborah Demas. So my email is demasd@esuhsd.org, D-I-M as in Michael, A-S-D, or just contact Paul and he can find me. All right. Hope this helps you get started.